Okay, so I've had some questions recently discussing questions about how to navigate Google Calendars, how to deal with the Drive, and issues about blogs. So after a lot of different answers being typed to parents and students trying to figure it out, I thought I would take some time, make a video, upload it to YouTube, and then be able to share that link to be able to help people figure out what they need to know. You should be starting to see emails from me. So I'm using my wife's email account here just so it looks the same to her as it might to you. So if you go to your email here, right now it says has shared an account with you. So it says, let's see, this one is the A-Day, B-Day calendar. If you go to view your calendar, you'll see that right here. So if you look, this one she has open right now. But all of the calendars I sent you should show up in here under other calendars. So there's my calendars and then there's other calendars. My calendars being ones that you created, and these are ones that are shared with you. So if you see, there's an A-Day, B-Day one, there's an after-school schedule one, I have a baseball one that I shared with her, and here's an IED one as well. If I change to the month view, I can see all the stuff that goes on. If I turn on A-Day, B-Day, you'll see it's just a little thing that I do. I have every A-Day or B-Day labeled for the entire year. It helps me keep track of it. The number next to the A or the B is how many days we've gone through. So this was the first B day, the first A day, all the way up to here's the 8th, and you kind of keep going, and you get up to here to like A22. You see towards the end here, it says I'm going to end the second quarter on November 4th. So on the 21st B day, my marking period is going to end. Same thing, here's where it's going to start. That actually number should get changed. I left that for myself, but that 21 should say 1. And this is when my grades are due on the computer. So I'm going to end my grade books here, but you have the rest of this week to hand in. I have the rest of this week to calculate grades and get stuff taken care of. Also, you can see when progress reports are due, so that's on the 7th. The other one I shared was my after-school calendar. Right now in the fall, I'm just after, at least until maybe middle of October, just after on Fridays in room 202. That's Mrs. Clark's room if you're looking for where I might be. So that's on there. So anytime it's under that calendar, and you can turn off other calendars to make sure you're looking at the correct one, or just pay extra special attention to which color is what. The one that probably matters most here is the IED calendar. I'm going to turn off the other two just so they can display the way I kind of want them to display. Everything that we're going to do throughout the year is labeled day by day. So right here you can see we're working on the constraints tutorial. That was on the 26th and the 27th. If you click on it and we have stuff that we did, so like here is the tutorial. It's the only thing I can really share from this. But that's there. You could open that. Make sure if you do open this, so if you click on this, it'll drag it out, or you can say download, and then you should drag it out to the desktop in order to be able to open it. It won't really open by just clicking on this. So back to this, back to the calendar, wherever that just went, right here. There was some questions about when blogs are due. The best way to be able to tell when blogs are due is they're listed on the calendar. So IED, I have a block 5, a block 6, and a block 8. So you can see those were due on the 16th. The blog 2 is due on September 30th. That's this Friday, if anybody's paying attention. Blog 3 is due the 6th, blog 4 on the 21st and the 5th, and they're labeled out for the most part throughout the year. I think I actually set every blog all already set. So that's how you know when they're due. There were a couple of questions about how you open them. So I'm going to kick back here, and I'm kind of trying to just maybe hide if my wife has an email she doesn't want seen here. But so here's blog 2. If I open that up, the way you enter blogs is you go through, you read this, and it says, read the article and watch the video and then type your first or last name. So first of all, I got to watch this video. So if I open this up, it's redirecting me to YouTube. There's a little ad here that'll play. I'll come back in 12 seconds. But it says, after you watch it, so it's to start typing in your name. So type in my name. And then I'm going to type in my 5 sentences. So whatever, sentence number 1, question mark, sentence number 2, period, sentence number 3, exclamation point, whatever, 5 sentences. As I mentioned at Open House, it has to be exactly 5. It cannot be 4. It cannot be 6. It has to be exactly 5. And the statements can't be, I really liked this blog, or this was really cool. I'm looking for something with a little more insight into those 5 sentences. The video is playing now, so this is just an example of a D-News video. It's about how much we waste every year. So you would watch the video and then make your 5 comments. And then you want to make sure you hit send me a response. Again, this is for the kids, so parents who are watching this, you wouldn't enter the blog. This is just how your kids would go about it. But you want to hit send me a response and then hit review and submit. So I'll hit review. It says you're submitting no external page. Say okay. Good. So then it says edit your response. You could if you wanted to, or submit another one, which you probably don't want to. If I go back here, sometimes the send me a response thing doesn't work. I don't know always why. What I've been suggesting to kids is if you're worried about your response not showing up, then what I would do is when I submit it, I would take a picture with my cell phone so that I can see the time and date in the lower right-hand corner here, as well as what it is that you submitted. It's just a checks and balances for yourself to make sure. You could also hit print screen and save it someplace on your computer so that you could share that with me. You do not need to email me your response. In fact, you should not email your response. If you submit it, they'll end up going where they're supposed to go. In fact, I'll show you where it goes and how I can tell you did it. If you go to Drive, then go to, so I shared this, but she's not going to be able to see it yet. So if I go back in here and says IED blog, oh, maybe I didn't share the blog with her. Maybe I can't show her that one. See, there's a folder IED, but I didn't share the blogs one with her. So all of the stuff we do in class is in all of these folders, but I don't think I shared the blogs one with her. So let me just check one more time. Blog. Oh, I did. It's right here. Okay. So here's the blogs folder. I shared that with you. So go to open. After you open it one time, it should show in here. So if I go to shared with me, see there's blogs. So double click blogs. If it was, let's see, we just did a submission, I think for blog 2. So and I know it was for blog 6. And then look at the responses. It should list your name here on the right hand side. But for some reason, and I don't know what this is either, some reason it goes away. It doesn't always keep track of this. So that's why I always require you to put a name. So like for example, if for some reason this wasn't working correctly and it wasn't showing the username here, I wouldn't know who this was. So I would know to give Jack Hennessy credit for this, but I would not know to give Sicko for this because he didn't type his name first. You really want to make sure you type your name before you submit it. So it should say your name, your post, and whatever it might be. The only other place, if you really wanted a different place to be able to check when blogs are due, is if you go to School Tool, which hopefully this opens the way I want it to. It does. Everybody's name is below here. I've got it up on my screen in this way so that you can't see everything because I don't want you to be able to see people's names or information or whatever. But if you hold your mouse over each one, it says blog number 1, and it says 9/16/16. So it's due on 9/16/16. 9:30, that's correct. 3:10, that's correct. And let's just go check because sometimes they get moved around. I always keep track of it. But blog, we said blog 2 was due on the 10th, or 3 was due on the 10th. Yeah, see, that was due here. I had to move it. It's actually due on 9/6. The best way to get it is from the calendar. But see, it was 9:30. I had to move it because of the way the dates worked out that quarter. So I'll check one more time, make sure it was definitely the 10th. Blog 3. Yeah. Oh, no, it's 10/6. That's right. Sorry, I said 3:10. 10/6. So it actually is correct. Every now and again, though, the calendar and School Tool doesn't match up, and that's if there was a weird reason why I had to move things around. Maybe I forgot to go back and update on the gradebook. But I always make sure it's up to date on the calendar. That's the best place to get it. Hopefully this answers a lot of your questions. Obviously, if you have any more, send me an email. Thank you very much.